Okay. I am not recording this conversation.
Hmm?
I'm now recording this conversation. You should be able to share your screen.
Okay. This is a system analysis of some person. Okay.
Okay.
This is one person, not 10 of them.
Got it. Okay.
In order to ask just the questions that you see here, just what you see here in this loop situation, which I will explain, I will tell you this. In our brain, we have certain elements which dynamically connect to each other in a way that we have no understanding.
Right.
Why you behave the way you behave, it's harder to know. It's very hard to know. Nobody knows exactly why he behaves this way.
Right.
This person paid $12,000 for the analysis. So I would start to go into a subconscious and understand why he behaves the way he behaves.
For the purpose of storytelling, do you want to use my name? So you can say, hey, a guy called Tamer asked, pay $12,000 by that, so people can wrap their heads around this. Will that make it easier for you to explain a story?
No.
No? Okay. I'll shut up.
We'll call him Joe. It doesn't matter.
Okay, good. Okay.
Joe is a common name. Let's call him Joe.
Joe, okay.
He's not a common person.
Okay.
This is a person with 6 exits.
Nice.
Who was also 6 exits behind him. His first exit was when he was 22 years old.
Wow.
He's an amazing musician, amazing with degrees in music. He wrote for for concerts like orchestras. He's also an artist in the field of photography. He has a lot of shows of his photography around the United States. He lives in Los Angeles. Highly successful person. He wanted to be analyzed to understand some other complexities that I cannot tell you about him, but at least I can tell you. He wanted to know why he behaves the way he behaves, okay?
Sure.
One thing I can tell you about him, today I believe he's 45.
Yeah.
Around, probably.
Yeah.
He cannot get married.
Why?
Highly successful. He loves girls. Girls love him, falling in love with him every day. He can't.
Why?
When he was young, he went on a trip with with a motorcycle in South Africa.
Yeah.
Let's do it this way. All right. Just leave it in there for a second. He took his sister with him, young sister, 17 years old. His sister drove on the bicycle in front of him, on the back of another boyfriend or of a boyfriend. It was his idea to take all of them on a trip to Africa to ride a motorcycle. His sister and her boyfriend crashed into a big truck. Her body was spread into pieces.
Oh my God.
He saw it, and since then, can get married. Highly successful person. That's not the reason he was asking for this analysis, but that one was one of his biggest traumas, which no therapist was able to cure.
Right.
So now that's one thing, but the reason he came to me is because he wanted to pursue himself in other ways. Okay. This person lives on something being called excitement of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's excited now, he's excited, and if he was excited yesterday, it has nothing to do with the reality of today.
Mm-hmm.
If you can look here, it's based on being, okay, with high level of curiosity. It's a very curious person that is being excited at every moment. Now, the question is, curiosity has impact in his brain on some other elements. These are the known elements, by the way. What you see here is the known.
Mm-hmm.
When he's curious, it creates the excitement of the moment. When he's curious, he knows exactly what is important for him. By the way, he's one of the most productive people on earth. He was managing startups and he was working only 2 hours per day. Highly focused. Writing email 2 hours per day, that's it. I saw him doing this. Okay, I worked as a consultant. Now, his curiosity knows exactly what's important for him. 80 Pareto, 80-20 rule is the top 5% accurate of what's happening because of this level of excitement. When he's curious, he's also creating, as you can see, a clear framework to make life choices. It could be business, it could be, he has a clear framework. He's a very, very highly focused personality. But his clear framework does not come only from curiosity. It has other things that impact it. Okay? Just trying to show it to you in a more kind of nice manner. A clear framework to make choices is based on the cause and effect of a couple of elements. One, he's a very curious person. He's trying to find the best framework to make a choice. He knows how to quickly choose the best path in life or in business or in anything. He knows how to do it, a clear pathwork to create a framework. He has a total harmonic engagement, which can be described later. He engages harmonically with the task that he is in. So if he writes an email to or business model of some kind, he's totally engaged, 100%, nothing else. And he has a systemic experience competence. He can see many things at the same time to see how they impact each other. As you can see, there are a lot of connections in his brain because curiosity comes from another impact of something else. See, he knows how to choose authentically. Therefore, it makes him highly curious. But because he knows how to choose authentically, this kind of curiosity, which is a different kind of curiosity that I will have or you will have, Timur, okay, ours will not lead to excitement of the moment. And for him, it might lead to excitement of the moment. Because he's choosing authentically, he has an ongoing process to navigate life, learn more, and use that you make clear choices based on even further understanding. If you look here, you can see the word deeper understanding of things because he's highly focused, because he lives properly. As I told you, he was working 2 hours per day and he sold a couple of companies. He's a very unique person. That's why he was so successful. Now that you start to see these elements being connected, this is a map of the known elements in his brain. Known. Now the point is to understand the path that those elements takes. How many patterns do you think are there here? Which means this goes to here, and this one goes to there, and this one goes to here, and this one goes to there. Therefore, how many do you think connections are there in this kind of?
It would be, I'm gonna say millions. That would be millions of patterns.
Good. Therefore, you don't know how you behave. Let me show you a couple of patterns here.
Yeah.
Look, number one is the simple one that he has in his brain. When he has a clear framework to make life choices, he can maximize his potential and create impact on the world. And he did make an impact of the world in many ways. When he maximizes his potential, at that time, he can quickly choose the best path in life. He calls it life, but it could be business life, it could be anything. When he's quickly choosing it, he can prioritize what to do and when to do. That's why he was able to work 2 hours per day and sell 6 companies. This is one only pattern. Loop number 2 in his brain has length of 4 elements. It comes again from a clear framework of life choices. Okay. A clear framework of life choices can maximize its potential and create an impact on the world. And when he's maximizing it, he can quickly choose the best path and therefore live properly. A person that works 2 hours per day lives properly, I'm telling you, teamwork, and selling 6 companies. Because he lives properly, he has the span of attention to have a deep understanding on everything he does. This is loop number 2. If we go further, just for you to know, okay, let's go to loop number 2475, which has a length of 10 elements. Okay, now all of them are starting only from one element, a clear framework. When he has a clear framework, he can maximize his potential and create impact on the world. When he's creating impact on the world, he can quickly choose the best path in life. Therefore, he can live properly. And because he lives properly, as you already know, he can have a deep understanding. Deep understanding, in his case, builds a tremendous capacity, as you can see here. When he has a tremendous capacity, when this part in his brain is working with tremendous capacity of understanding, he makes things that I truly want in life to happen. Getting the most.
Sorry, just give me a second. Let me think this through. How is this different to loop number 1?
First of all, it has length of 10 elements. It has an impact on other elements that you didn't see on number 1. And it's not the same order. Let me give you just, to understand. Yeah. It's not the same one as number 1. I can go to number 1 again.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say we have a person that we want to hire to work.
Yeah.
This guy sold 6 companies.
Or a police officer to investigate, or somebody to know if you are.
Yes, right, yes.
Okay, awesome.
But let me tell you something about this guy. A couple of his startups were managed by him at the same time. Mm-hmm. Not one after another. He's not a serial entrepreneur. He's not a serial entrepreneur because some of them, 2 or 3 of them, he managed at the same time. He was the CEO of 3 startups at the same time.
Got it.
So he's a guy that can create a clear framework to make choices. Because he has very clear framework, like we in our startup don't have yet a clear framework. He's a person that you wanted around you. He can make a clear framework. Then this helps him to maximize his own potential and create an impact on what is on the world. It doesn't mean on billions of people. It can make an impact on the world that surrounds him, like the people in the startup. The world of people. He can make an impact of them, okay? On them, he can make an impact on the people who are surrounding this company, which could be the investors, or it could be, service providers. Because he can maximize his potential and to create an impact on this little world, this ecosystem, he can quickly choose the best path. You see, he has a framework. He can maximize his potential to make an impact on people. Then he can quickly choose the best path. That's understandable. People who quickly choose the best path live properly because they don't have to spend time to be in chaos, not understanding what's happening around them. A person that can live properly, not working from 5 a.m. until 11 a.m., doesn't sleep well at night. No, he lives properly because he needs to invest 2 hours per day on a company. And because he lives this way, because he can concentrate 1,000% of his brain capacity in 2 hours, he can see more than we do as normal people when we have maybe 80% of our brain capacity in the morning and maybe 20% of our brain capacity in the evening when we are tired.
Right.
Therefore, he has a deeper understanding of what's happening around him. Okay? Because he has deeper understanding, He has a tremendous capacity and he can lead 3 startups at the same time. Therefore, it's easy for him to make the things I truly want in life to happen.
Interesting.
Therefore, I can make the most out of every moment, second, a split of a second.
God.
You have to see work. When I saw him working, it's unbelievable. He's like an autistic person. He writes a file now, like something, like he writes something. You can throw a bomb in the room, he will not listen to it.
Let me ask you a few questions, if I may. Can I ask you 2 questions?
Yes.
Why did you choose the word loop? Why did you not use number 2475?
Why it's a loop?
Why did you choose the word loop as my first question?
Because the last one, know what is important for me is connected back to a clear framework to make life choices.
Okay, so now let's go look. Now let me look at loop number 2474, which is the one before that. A clear framework for my
it looks the same, but it's not the same because there will be one element which is not the same.
But I'm
like
looking for this harmonic engagement loops back to clear framework or maximum potential. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
These are loops because it goes back in here.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, every loop, just for you to know, every loop, okay, has 2 elements in it. One of those things is a soft spot for him, and one of them is a critical point.
And how would you know, other than asking him what's a soft spot versus what's a critical spot?
I know how to analyze it. I have a whole system on how to analyze it.
Okay, got it. And then can I assume this data that you put into loops comes from your 3 questions every day that you ask people?
No, this was done, me sitting with him an hour every week for 12 months, for 12 weeks, and asking him these questions.
Oh, God, understood. Because I spent an hour.
Then after I do this analysis, after I have this, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe I will show you to you in another way. Give me a second. After I have this, I start to work with him with the 3 questions every day. Where is it? Okay. You see, there are a lot of files here. Okay. These are small loops that you can see if you want to see one loop. How it looks. See this one? I choose authentically, therefore, I feel empowered. When I feel empowered, I feel confident to do what is right. When I'm not empowered, I don't feel comfortable.
Right.
When I feel comfortable to do what is right, I behave in keeping with my highest values. Therefore, I can behave with humility, confidence, and passion, which leads me to feel truly myself, true to myself. This leads me best to choose authentically. Now the question is, where is the critical points usually, which I have another analysis that shows it, okay, are crossing each other. Let me explain to you. To feel true to myself, it's probably easy for me.
Right.
But the critical point, would that loop lead me to feel comfortable, confident to do what is right? So it's either here, the critical point and soft spot, or here, feel empowered or behave with humility and confidence and passion. In his case, for sure, he can behave with humility easily. Does he always feel empowered? This could be a critical point. Or it should be one of those crosses.
Right.
Choosing authentically and behave in keeping my highest value. It's easy for me to behave keeping my highest values. However, I'm not always sure that I choose authentically.
Interesting. Got it.
So this is just for you to understand how this complex machine works. Now, there's a lot of other files. There are hundreds of files because the daily coaching day later on, which can optimize everything and make changes. Because my deal is how to take this critical point or the soft spot. Soft spot is something that is excellent to use. It's the easiest one in the loop. Use it. Every time you cannot get into the loop, you use the soft spot. This will get you back to the loop. If you're losing the loop, get back to your soft spot, because the easiest to attack this kind of loop is with a soft spot. Critical point, be aware, because it can kill the loop.
Understood. And then, so out of this guy spending a year of his life, 1 hour with you, Ladat, what results is he producing now? Like, how is his life different?
Today, I can tell you, he built startups, and then another one, and another one, but he never fulfilled his dream to become a great musician. Today, besides now at the coronavirus time, he's having huge concerts all around the world. That's what he wanted to do. He doesn't care if he will make money from the concerts because he's rich.
Mm-hmm.
So he fulfilled his dream by becoming a musician. By the way, with me, he also wrote a book, which is based on his abilities. There's a book. Okay, he never published it, but he wrote a book. Not always a book is for publishing.
Sure.
Just organize knowledge of yourself.
Sure. Right.
And he found a beautiful path in life for himself. So you can say, oh, that's easy. I mean, anyone can do it. Really?
Yeah. And then how could this be applicable, not this model, but how could looping and analyzing people be applicable to what we're building in behavior intelligence from your perspective?
This is the biggest question that I will have. It's either I will have to analyze, okay, 10 very authentic, I would say, people, or very highly trusted people that the whole world is saying that they're so trusted, and hundreds of people trust them, and they never failed, and I have to analyze them in order to find the common denominator between them. Or I can analyze a specialist in the FBI, CIA, or the police, who are experts in finding people who are making fraud, and through them analyze the personality types of this kind of people. Because I believe that to analyze the people themselves, it will be really hard because they are not trusted. So how do you know where's the truth? I mean, I cannot interrogate them. To find 10 people are in jail for 20 years already because of big fraud, it will be very hard to analyze. But I can do it through other people, and I can ask them the questions. Look, it's a big work to do, okay? If we go in here, you will be able to see that there's so much work, to analyze such a person. Okay?
Yeah, I can see it takes a long time to analyze somebody manually, and you need human experience.
Yes.
And I wanted to get to the so what of it. You know what I mean? So what? So let's say I spend $10,000 with you and I get a map. I wanted to get a so what part. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I wanted to understand.
First of all, this person is getting a map, and then it's not only a map. He's getting a couple of more things, but
yeah.
And then he's being. I make interventions in his subconscious in those loops, because I know the soft spot and the critical point. And for a whole year, I train his brain to get where he wants to get. And this training can take between 1 to 3 years, by the way. Depends on the complexity, because there are tens of thousands of loops.
Okay, got it.
By the way, if I find that there are more than 60,000 loops, it's very hard to work with such a person. He's too complex.
Right.
And if you have only 10,000 loops, It means that your IQ is below the average. You're not a developed human.
Got it.
If you,
Okay,
take, if you take a young girl who's empty in her head, you will find only 12,000 loops, which means that she's very, very easy to anticipate her behavior. So let me tell you why this map is important. Because in this map, you can anticipate exactly how a person will behave in a certain moment.
right.
And this is what we want, isn't it?
Yes.
This guy will go to work in the bank.
Yeah.
Do you have an analysis saying that in certain situations, he will make a fraud in the bank when he has an opportunity?
Right.
By the way, he's not a guy that thinks even about it today. He doesn't want. He's a very cool guy. It's like, you know, this father who met the mother. They lived together for 20 years, and he was an amazing father. And one day he killed all the family. Nobody can explain the why.
Right.
One day, woke up in the morning and killed the whole family. Why? It's too complex in the brain. This was my work, analyzing people this way. So when you want me to send you a methodology, I cannot send you a methodology. I'm trying to find some information to show it to you, but I cannot.
Got it. And but this kind of now allows everybody to understand. Remember, I'm recording this, so this allows for people to now understand what you do and how you do it a little bit.
Very little. And if people will ask me, how do you write one loop? I can explain what are the questions that I'm asking in order to write the loop.
Offer, how do you write one loop? Offer, how do you write one loop?
Well, it starts with one question.
Okay, what's the question?
What's your motivation? 90% of people don't know how to answer it.
Really?
It takes time to answer. What is your motivation? And then I'm asking it in an easier way. What do you want to be when you grow up? Or how would you be like to be known as? This is the last one people can answer. I want to be known as the person who makes 4 exits.
Right.
I want to be known as a person who developed the solution to the COVID-19 in less than 90 days. How are you going to be known? Why is this important? How I want to be known?
Got it.
Because it tells everything about your personality.
Got it. So then, Offer, if I may ask you a question.
But the list of questions, and they last for at least 12 hours per person.
Sure. So Offer, just then I have 2 questions for you based on this conversation. In terms of behavior intelligence, the company, my 2 questions to you is, what is your motivation? And let's say 5 years from now, we've done an exit and we just sold the company for $100 million. How would you like to be known?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Saving the life of billions of people from fraud.
Okay, good. So that's how you want to be known. Awesome. And then what's
but it's congruent.
Yeah.
With my other messages. I want to save 1 billion children in the world. I want to save 1 billion people from losing jobs. I want to save, 1 billion people, okay, or give them an opportunity to live in a world they can trust. And that's why I'm with you in this program. Timur, I get offers to be in other startups too.
Yeah, no, I understand. Okay, good.
And only thing that are congruent with my vision.
Yeah.
And what I want to be known when I will die. Yeah. Offerbuyer took care of the children, of the adults, and to live in a world which is secured and trusted.
Okay, good. So I appreciate that. Thank you. So I got what's your motivation to be in this project? So I heard what you want to be known 5 years when we sell the company for less than $100 million. So that's the why you're in this project.
I will give you another example, maybe.
Sure.
Let's assume, okay, that in such a project you have a couple of people.
Yeah.
You ask each one of them this question, and they give a deep answer.
Yeah.
How do you know that you can believe them? Let's assume all of them said to you what I said. Yeah. Oh, we'll save the world. People will live in a trusted environment.
Yeah.
But is it congruent with what they have done in the past 10 years? Go online. ask Anthony to check about them to see if it's the same path they've been going. Or you will find that some of them have been thinking only on how to make money. They never thought about, changing the world or saving the world or making.
Good point. Good point. That's a very good point. That's a very, 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 very good point.
Now, if they want to make money, when the time will come to sell the company, they will be the first to say, let's sell it for 80 million. And I will tell you, I don't want to sell the company.
Right.
I want to grow it to $1 billion company.
Right.
I want to be in control of the future of this company and not sell it to Amazon.
Right. Right.
And so you see, the problems will start teamwork over time.
Understood.
Now everybody's fine. Each one of us has his own profession, his own ability, great people around us. One of the questions I used to ask for in startups when they just established and got $10 million. The first question that I asked, like the list of the questions that I sent to you, remember?
Yeah.
To all of you?
Yeah.
The first question I asked startups, when times will go bad, how will you behave? The time that no investment will come in, the time that the technology doesn't work, the time that your brand is being ruined, the time that the ship is sinking. How would you behave? You know what is the answer that I get from everyone? Wow. I will stay here forever. I will fight for this company. This is what everybody is saying. You know what happened in reality when one day they're trying to get another $20 million and nobody wants to give them?
Wow.
Everybody's trying to get a job outside. Nobody's fighting.
Right.
So is it congruent with their personality? No.
Right. No, you're right.
You see, the human brain is very complex. I know about Timor, maybe 1% of who is Timor. And you maybe know less than 1% about who is Offerbriar. And we have been friends for a long time and we love each other.
Right.
But what we know of how your brain is functioning and my brain functioning is 90%, 99% is unknown. Now, if you want to create a smart algorithm, you basically have to create hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of loops inside, so they were able to check about people and to find what is right, to find what is the difference between a guy who will make a fraud at the right place, at the right time, the right situation. Please don't think that every person who makes a fraud was born like that.
Right. No, you're right.
Sometimes people just get an opportunity and to learn a new skill, fraud.
Interesting.
So we can run tomorrow, create an algorithm to aggregate data. So what will be the difference between us and other companies who are doing the same? Almost nothing. And if you will have one feature that nobody has, that feature will be covered by other companies fast enough. They will see what you do and they will create the algorithm. To create a really, really smart algorithm that gives an answer, even a slight of an answer, by the way, to what we want, is not that simple as it looks. Look, do you have an idea of how many hours, if I will have to analyze 10 people have been working in the fraud detection and 10 people have been 1,000,000% trusted, you know how many hours I have to spend in it?
A lot.
And I probably will need some kind of a team, to analyze it. And maybe I will have to train 2 people or 3 people to do what I'm doing in order to accelerate it, to make it shorter.
Yeah.
This is this thing that you need to understand. It's more complex than you think. It's not a simple startup to build up.
Interesting.
But if you make it, it's huge.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I was trying to show you a little bit. I prepared it before the call.
Please.
You're asking me, and I'm trying to figure out how I can show you a methodology.
I apologize for asking you a difficult question.
No, don't worry about it. I was trying to figure out how to create that file for you that will explain it. There's no file that can explain it.
So can you show me For the purpose of the viewers of this, 1 or 2 more very quick methodologies or maps, mind maps on human behavior that you've created in your experience.
I have to look for them, find them, choose one of them, and show you in another call. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. No, thank you. I'm going to stop the recording for this.